Screensavers. I'm Kate Patello.
And I'm reading. You mind? Oh, my goodness, the show.
For heaven's sake.
Hi, I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in today's show, close the port of entry to your computer and protect yourself from unwanted visitors.
Well, all right.
Lock your computer.
When the hacker asks you what's your sign, just say exit. Also, thank you very much. Programming Pearls of Wisdom, a collection columns, a bunch of columns full of tips for any programmer. Any programmer. Good programmers.
Yeah, it's good.
In the
You'll like it.
Geek
It's
Library.
our Geek Library. Yeah. And later, new multifunction phones from the Consumer Electronics Show on today's...
Now, before we talk about what we're going to do in the chat room today, yesterday's poll, will you take the Hacker Pledge? Interesting results. Check this out. Half of our viewers win. They say no.
Interesting is right.
Right down the middle. Now, there was an interesting email that we got from somebody who said, I'm not going to say that I will do no harm because I like to hack and shut down child porn sites, and the cops don't do anything about it, they don't do anything about it, and I'm doing them harm.
No, that's interesting.
It's not really harm, though, dude. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm
surprised.
You know why?
Why?
Because they're all saying if we're hackers, then we don't have to promise anything. That's the whole point of not actually submitting to a line of order from us.
So you don't have to say you do it or even do it, but do it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, please.
Nobody will know.
Just do it. No one will know. Right.
That's really. I'm actually very surprised at that result. Let's see what we can get on today's chat topic. Would you back up your brain?
For crying out loud.
My brain backs up on its own all by itself. Aww. Well, you know, I interviewed this guy. It was on a Big Thinkers with Mark Edo and Richard Brandt, and it's going to appear on ZDTV soon. Ray Kurzweil. He wrote a book called The Age of Spiritual Machines. Just came out in a new paperback edition. Now, here's his premise. He says that we are on the elbow of the exponential growth in the power of the computer.
As opposed to the hip?
Well, exponential growth, he points out, in the first half you don't really notice it because it goes and goes and goes. But then all of a sudden, if you looked at a curve, because it's exponential, all of a sudden it goes up like this.
Okay.
Well, computer growth obviously has been a very fast pace up to now, but he says you ain't seen nothing yet because it's just about to take off. We're about halfway through and we're ready to the elbow, which means, he says, according to his timeline, he has a timeline, that in 20 years, by 2020, you'll be able to, what his timeline is, how much computing power you can buy for $1,000. And plotting that from the past through the present up to 2020, he says you'll be able to buy the equivalent of a human brain for $1,000. But that's not even amazing.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. By 2030, you'll be able to buy for $1,000, again, the power of 1,000 human brains. Furthermore, we'll have the technology to take Kate's brain, scan it. And by the way, he says, without your knowledge, scan it and put it in that computer, which will then have all your memories, your personality, it will be in, and this is the important key, indistinguishable from Kate.
Oh, ick.
Now, you'll know the difference because you're Kate.
Yeah, but what if
But I wouldn't know the difference.
I'd come up someone else.
That's right. On the phone, I would sound just like you. I would think it's you.
Oh, lovely. Or for all the virtual dates he was talking about.
The advantage is you could scan your brain and back it up.
Oh, boy.
Would you?
Just in case you happen to have amnesia.
Now, I personally think the whole thing is bogus. It's not going to happen. But what if you could? Would you do it?
No. You?
Yes, absolutely.
You'd back up your brain?
Of course because it's such... I mean, this is... Mankind deserves
your brain to go on for eternity? Is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
Oh, for crying out loud. I just wish I could go back in my brain and go, what was it I learned?
That would be useful.
See,
imagine you
AP
could say,
history,
you could type it in and say, what is that? I know, I remember that from last week.
It's right on
AP history. I can't remember last week.
So, well, you can see what we think.
I have to do incremental backups every week.
The world deserves Leo's brain. The world doesn't need to tap into my brain. We want to know what you think. Take the web poll, screensavers.com. I'd be very afraid.
It'd be very annoying.
Click on the talkback feature, of course.
My brain in your PC. Oh, you'd hate it.
Oh, for
Let us know what you
loud.
do with your brain if you could back it up.
Right, exactly.
You can also phone us, 888-989-7879 is the phone number. The chat room is chat.zdnet.com. Screensavers room is where the main hub of the action is. But
the side action, you have a net cam? Do you have a net cam?
I have a net cam.
You want to be on TV?
Yeah.
Except for this?
I'd love to be on TV. Do I get a magnet?
You would get if you clicked on the Netcam Cineplex and talked to Brad and Shannon, you'd get yourself improper shutdown.
He's crashed.
Oh, Brad crashed.
Quick, reboot Brad.
Quick, Shannon, reboot Brad. Roger. Roger's like, I'm going to take all his stuff.
Roger, the reset button's higher, Roger.
No, Roger's just using that as an excuse to read all of Brad's emails.
He's looting the body.
And earn yourself a fabulous magnet, of course, as seen on our fridge.
ZDTV.
Be seen on
There's
yours.
the dude.
Dude, there's Bill. He's running our audio today.
Bill's the dude, man.
Thanks, dude.
He's, by the way, his ID list today as well. So if you see Bill wandering in the halls, and he says, my ID's on the refrigerator, you can believe
If he can't get in, that would be why. All right.
Janelle joins us on this. We didn't throw it.
Thanks, Bill.
That's Bill.
He's like, I just wanted to make sure it happened.
Janelle joins us on the ZDTV 3Com Netcam Network from Noonan, Georgia. Hello, Janelle.
Hello, Janelle.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're very well, thank you.
There she is. So,
I have a question.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I heard of a music format called MP4. What is it, and how does it differ from MP3s?
You know,
You know?
let's ask David, our MP3 expert,
Why
if
don't
he
we?
knows anything about MP4. What I think I'm going to tell you what I think I've heard, which is this new format called AAC, which companies like A to B Music are using. That is an improved MP3. Of course, is a digitally compressed audio that sounds like as good as a CD for about 1/10 or 1/11 of the size. David, what do you know about MP4s? What can you tell us about that?
Well, I just got in here and looked it up a little bit. I haven't heard a lot about it, but MPEG-4 is structured audio. It's called MP4SA, and it's a new ISO IEC standard, which is basically a general standard. And
Okay.
It specifies sound not as sampled data, but as computer program that generates audio when to run. So it's supposed to compress it even more. That's
Right.
the basic standard. It's a next generation, hopefully.
Not out yet, though. I don't see any MP4 players
Not
out there.
that I can see.
There are AAC players out there, and as I mentioned, you go to A to B and see the latest. There's other issues, though, and these are the important issues, Janelle. Right now, MP3 is really dominant. It's out there. It's not perfect by any means. It gives you only 11:1 compression, which
Okay.
I'm sure we'd like more. That's about a megabyte a minute of music. And there are artifacts. If you listen to MP3 compressed music, certain frequencies are a little pumped up. There's a little bit of echo kind of in the mid-range. If you really listen closely,
Really?
yeah, you can sometimes hear it. If you really listen closely, there are some digital artifacts, as with any lossy compression. So, yes, we could improve on MPEG-3, but, and this is the key, all of these solutions I've seen, including AAC, including A2B, have included encryption for the benefit of the music industry. And this is why I think a lot of these standards may not take off. The music industry, of course, and rightly so, is saying MP3 is being used for pirating. Any new standard should have a way of encryption so that you could say, for instance, Kate buys it. It only runs on her system. It won't run on my system.
Okay.
So any new system is going to have that. And that's what I think, even though we could use a better system, I don't think it's going to take off because I think people who use MP3 are really wedded to the notion that they can trade music. That's a big part of
Isn't
MP3.
that kind of the point?
Legally or illegally, and then there's both going on. So I'll tell you what. Let's if there's a viewer out there who's using MP4 or knows an MP4 player, I'd like to find out about it. I'd like to know more about it.
Roger says it's like optimized for streaming. That's about, he was piping
All right.
up from the corner.
That's what he shouted. All right, we'll see if we can find some more on it for you.
Okay, can I get a signed T-shirt? And I also have something else to say.
Okay.
Martin and Meg say hi from ZDTV.
All right. Who
All
are
right.
Mark? Is it Mark and Meg?
Martin.
Martin. Who's Martin and Meg?
I don't know. I saw them in the chat room, and they said that they're from ZDTV.
Oh, they're in the chat room. Are you in the chat room too, Janelle?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't normally give away T-shirts. Normally, you got to take the Super Geek Challenge quiz.
Challenge.
But you seem like a nice person, and what the heck?
Okay, but folks, that is it.
No
That
more.
is the T-shirt that we are giving away, like all week.
We'll have a T-shirt shortage if we start doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
thanks,
for you, Janelle, because you're the first one who asked. All right.
Thank
I don't
you.
know how we're going to
That's
autograph
all
it.
it
It was black. You got any?
Well,
You got
I've got those big shiny silver
pens? All right,
yeah,
we'll
it
find
looks
a way.
really funky when we try to sign those, but we'll work on
and
that.
don't wash it.
No, don't
Then
wash
it really looks
No,
funky.
it'll be- After the break, we're going to learn about some pearls of programming wisdom when the screensavers continue.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Once again for Kate and Leo's Geek Library, where we recommend for your geek pleasure one of our all-time favorite books, movies, software titles, bookmarks. We're going to do a book today. Let's go in the. Wait a minute. Let's go in the refrigerator.
Dogs and cats across America, jumping up, howling,
Well, they think there's a little mouse or something in the TV.
or something. They think they've got a little friend in there.
We really got to oil that door. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about a book called Programming Pearls by John Bentley. This book came out originally, I think, in 1986. I still have my 1986 edition. This is a new revised edition that's really good.
Very attractive.
Right, it's got those lovely pearls. Bentley is a researcher at Bell Labs Lucent Technologies. He's also a contributing editor for Dr. Dobbs Journal, which is a great programming magazine. And this book is a collection of columns he wrote for the Journal of the Association of Computing Machinery, the ACM, called Programming Pearls. It's not if you don't program, don't read this to learn how to program. Although you might find it fairly inspiring, it really is for people who already know how to program, who want to get better at it. And it covers all the major topics. Basically, each chapter is an individual column followed by problems and exercises that talk about that and really kind of get your brain thinking. Searching, sorting, those typical things, performance tuning, heaps. But it really isn't about algorithms specifically, but more about elegant computing and solving problems the right way, the best way, with the fewest steps.
Efficiency is nice.
Yeah, there's something beautiful and elegant about it. I really enjoy the book. It's very inspiring. I'm just an amateur tyro programmer, but I got a lot out of it. Real programmers get a lot more. In fact, I know programmers who say this is maybe one of the most important programming books they've ever read.
Oh my goodness!
A lot of fun to read. It's a good one to go, chapter by chapter, work the exercises. I think you'll like it. And by the way, although the code is in pseudocode in the book, it's readable pseudocode, not a real programming language. On the Programming Pearls website here, which is programmingpearls.com, John has put C and C++ versions of all of the programs.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
you could probably take a look at. There's some chapters in there too.
If
you're interested in Programming Pearls, you'll find a lot of great stuff there. And that is our Geek Library pick of the day: Programming Pearls, published by ACM Press on imprint of Addison Wesley Books.
All right. He's even got the cheat answers in here, folks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the solutions are in there. Good new edition, by the way. If you had the original, I do recommend the update. It's really great. I bought it. To fill out your Geek Library, check out our website for a complete listing of all the Cake and Legos recommendations. You'll find it at... I think we should call ourselves Cake and Lego.
Cake and Lego? We call my brother Lego.
Sounds like a party.
Actually.
Cake and Lego.
All right. We're going to a...
Cake and Lego's place at thescreensavers.com. I like that.
All right. Cake and Lego? Kind of a crunchy breakfast food.
Yeah. Doesn't it sound like a party? Sean joins us on the phone from Paulette.
Party all the time.
Paulette, Vermont.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Welcome to the party, Sean.
Oh, thank you so much.
Woohoo! We're having a Cake and Lego party here today.
Oh, that's great.
Join the
Wow.
So what can we do for you, Sean?
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I'm the minister of my church, and I'm going to be moving on in a couple of months, and I want to leave my computer for the office.
That's nice of you, Sean.
Well, I'm a nice guy.
You are. And it's an old clunker, right? You want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I've got this. Yeah, well, actually, you guys inspired me to build a new one.
Oh, good.
Very cool.
But every time I boot on and log on, I keep getting a log on to Windows message every time I boot up.
You get the little password thing.
Windows
right?
Yeah, and I want to get rid of that.
Do you want to have it so it doesn't have a log-on screen at all?
Yes.
And you probably want to get... There's two things you want to do. You probably also want to get rid of your old passwords, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm not on a network of any sort. I'm just on Windows 98.
You don't need the log-on. All right.
No, you don't need... The login just keeps the master password list. Putting in that password is your master Windows password.
Okay.
And what that does is it, puts in all of the saved passwords you have for your mail clients, for your dial-up accounts, some of your system settings, stuff like that.
So to start with completely fresh passwords, Kate's going to do a search now for the files that are star.pwl. There's probably only one in there. That's your password list that she was talking about. Trash that.
Trash that. Delete it.
That won't get rid of the login screen, but it will get rid of your old information.
Okay.
Now, if you don't want to see the login screen, we can show you how to get rid of that also.
Okay, well, we could do that even further. Basically, for one, I would delete this, I would reboot, and it would come back up and ask me, do you want to put in a new password? You don't put in anything.
Say no.
You leave it blank. Do we have time to do that?
No, you don't have to do that. Look, just the first thing you want to do here is, before you even do that, is open the network control panel, make sure you're on the Windows logon, okay? You're not, by the way. That's why you're getting this message. You're probably on the client for Microsoft Networks.
Yeah.
Make sure that the network logon is the Windows logon.
Okay.
And then, after you delete your password list, turn the machine on and reboot. You'll get a request for a login. You can type anything you want as the name, just no password.
Just no password.
Hit OK. It'll say, "Are you sure?" And it'll give you the same confirm the password thing. Hit OK again. Having deleted the PWLs, making it the Windows logon, and entering a blank logon, you will never again see that logon screen.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Okay.
All right.
And that's actually a lot of people want to do that because, if you're not on a network, there's no reason to do that.
No.
Doing it this way has the advantage of creating a master password list just with a blank password. And by doing that, then it'll remember your dial-up networking passwords, which you want it to do. If you don't have a logon at all, then it won't remember your dial-up networking password.
So that's the master password list.
You've got to have that list created. Okay? So you're leaving it in good shape for the secretary. She or he is going to be able to turn it on, and it'll just work for her.
I'm the secretary, too.
Oh, so
well,
the
your
new
replacement.
pastor has
the
to
new
do
pastor.
the same thing, huh?
Yeah, can I have an autographed picture, you guys, to put up on the altar?
Not on the altar, but maybe you could put it in the, what do they call that house
in the
out
office.
there? In the office. Don't you have a name for that? What do they call that?
Yes, but you can put it in the vestry.
The vestry.
The vestibule, there you go.
The vestibule. The
That's where
vestry
you
is
put
where
on
the
your...
pastor lives, and the vestibule is off inside the room where they keep the
Sean,
wafers
hang on the
and
line.
things.
Send us your address. We'll send you one.
Oh, you're the best.
Okay,
You
Sean.
are.
Thank you, guys.
No, you're the best.
Sean.
Stop it now.
That's a great thing to do. Donate a computer if you're not using it
Sean.
anymore. That's a great thing to do.
All right, take care. Up next, we're going to help you solve your computer problems, in theory, when the screensavers continue. You rock.
In practice, you rock.
You rock.
You are the
You
rocker.
rock.
You
No,
are
you
the
rock.
rocky.
No, I'm sorry. Screensavers.com is the very, very best place for more information about what's on this show. You're looking for articles from past shows? Well, check out our extensive archive, chock full of fabulous computing knowledge, all available at the Screensavers.com.
Thank you, Martha Batella.
I don't even know what that was.
That was Martha, wasn't it? It was Martha with after like 8 cups of coffee.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brandon's on the line from, where are you calling from, Brandon?
Crooked River?
Huh?
Crooked
River?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What state is that?
New Jersey.
Well, hello, Brandon.
Hi.
What can we do?
I plan on building a PC computer soon,
Good for you.
and I was wondering which processor you would recommend, the K7 or the Pentium 3?
You're trying to get us in trouble, aren't you, Brandon?
Aren't ya? Because we get into this all the time.
We should say right up front.
Because I called a place, and they recommended the K7, and I wondered what you guys thought.
You know what? What you're hearing is somebody's bias. Doesn't really matter. Either one, you're going to be very, very happy.
They're both excellent processors.
People express, it's kind of like if Mac or Windows. You're going to hear people's biases, not. We'll tell you the differences. There are differences.
Right.
Okay, let's say you have a K7 700 megahertz and a P3 700 megahertz. So we'll level the playing field, the same clock speed on both.
Okay.
Okay. The biggest difference between the two chips, if you use a new P3 Coppermine, let's say it's a Coppermine, both have 256K on die level 2 cache. That's the biggest difference that the Athlon, biggest advantage Athlon had with the earlier P3.
64L1, is that right?
64L1, 32 data, 32 instructions, and then a 256 L2 onboard cache. Now the Pentium 3 Coppermine now does that, and that was a big Athlon advantage. That if you get a Coppermine, which means a Pentium with a 3E or a BE or a B, those are Coppermine chips. Those have the onboard high-speed L2 cache. Now, the SSE instructions are on the Pentium 3, the 3D Now instructions on the Athlon. You want to talk about what those do?
Yeah, those are the... My brain just broke. Those are for gaming. We're talking about textures. We're talking about 3D. Now, the thing is that there's 77 SSE instructions. There's a lot of those. And very often, we picked the P3 to go in UGM because we said it's going to fit with the most games. It's going to work best with the most games. But the 3D Now extensions do the same thing the SSE extensions do. They're just not as optimized for as many games yet.
Yeah.
They handle your textures.
I personally think SSE is actually better than 3D Now, but you'll get in big fights with Athlon supporters on that. So we'll leave it at that. They're both good. Athlon probably does have a better floating point unit.
It has a much better floating point unit than the Pentium 3.
But that usually doesn't make any difference because unless you're using something that does a lot of floating point, and while some games do, most of the time that doesn't matter at this speed. The truth is, you're not going to see any difference. You get either one. I get the one that's less expensive. The other only other thing I'm not crazy about on the Athlon is it's using a new bus structure. It's using this alpha-based bus structure that is new to the motherboard manufacturers. And it always makes me nervous when you're getting a whole new architecture out there that people haven't seen a lot. We haven't seen compatibility issues with the Athlon, but some of the early Athlon motherboards weren't very good. So that makes me a little nervous, whereas we're still using the same old, and some would say that's the disadvantage, bus, the standard PCI bus with these Pentium 3s. And so that leans me towards Pentium 3 a little bit. You
can do 2 to 8 meg of external L2 cache on the Athlon.
You can, and it's up to 200 megahertz on the bus. So there are certain advantages on the on the front side bus. There are certain advantages the Athlon has. I'll tell you the difference. You look at the benchmarks. One day one wins, the other day the other wins. They're very similar. You're going to be very, very happy with either one.
Yeah, I'm sorry we can't exactly just
I'll tell you one more negative on the P3. It's got that ID thing in it, which we really thought was a bad idea when Intel put that in. Each CPU has a unique identifier.
But it's turned off
by default.
Yeah.
So I think it's less of a problem than it was.
Not such a big deal.
Okay, so there you have the pros and cons. You make the decision.
All right.
It's up to you.
We decided on our Ultimate Gaming Machine to go with a P3 800.
But I'm building a machine in a few weeks, and that's going to have an Athlon in it.
There you go.
So there you go. We're 50-50.
Thanks for the call. Good luck with your new PC. Let us know what you put in there. Send us an email. I'd like to see what other pieces you put in there, all right?
And say hello to the rest of Crooked River.
Don't start flipping, folks. Still to come on this very show. Find out how to turn off your ports. Ports are. More answers to your tough computer questions. Plus, we're going to show you how to watch TV and listen to MP3s all from your telephone. Oh, that's a good idea. All that and more as the Screensavers rolls on. You can just flip.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kate Patella.
I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Our question of the day today. Would you, I could really use this actually, would you back up your brain?
Well, I've been saying no up until this point, but after I just had this complete brain blank, I'm going to say now, you see, it's the I Told You show.
I do that all the time, though.
I Told You show.
This is welcome to the I Told You show with cake and Lego.
We would just I Told You show. What a great idea.
This comes from actually an article in Psychology Today that was written by Ray Kurzweil. He also wrote this book, The Age of Spiritual Machines. He is, of course, the inventor of the Kurzweil speech synthesizer and created a synthesizer for Stevie Wonder. A very, very well-known. The Kurzweil synthesizers are used by musicians all over the world. His expertise is in pattern matching. He knows very well how the brain works, and he says that within 20 years we'll be able to scan our brains and stick them into a machine. Scan your brain. Scan. That was fun. I wish I could scan your brain.
You know, I don't need my brain scanned. I just keep my spare in a jar.
Oh, yeah, I wish I had that.
You know?
That's very handy.
Isn't it?
You know, you soak a tea bag in there and it'll look much more realistic.
That's what it says on the jar. Just add water for a more realistic look.
Now, here's what you would do. And he's, by the way, he says that, you'll see him a little later on in the Big Thinkers. Mark Edo interviewed him. I sat in for a little bit of that. That's going to air in a couple of weeks, I believe, on ZDTV.
And what did you do? Did you look up and go, wrong?
No, you know, I didn't want to be too contentious because I think it's very easy to make predictions like this. Who's going to say wrong? How could you say wrong? Well, I don't know. It's 30 years. But here's the problem. I don't think we know how smart the human brain is. I think it has depths and reservoirs and abilities far beyond what we are currently aware of. So I think it's easy to say, well, computers are going to be that much faster. Yeah, but is it going to be as fast as a brain? Is it going to be able to take? I doubt if ever I would be able to take what's in there and put it on any device or machine and duplicate it. I'm sorry.
I just can't imagine.
No,
There's just so many other
We're
factors.
too special.
That's right. We just choose to believe that we are way, way too special to be able to be replicated into a computer, right?
So if you ask me would I scan it, I'd say yes. Because I think it'd be cool. But will you be able to? No.
No? All right. Actually, he says yes because he thinks the world will benefit greatly by having his brain archived for
I've already written the thing where I'm donating it to Smithsonian.
Your brain?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to need a couple of tanks to... Okay, you can see what we think. We want to know what you think. Take the web poll, screensavers.com. While you're there, click on, the whole talkback feature thing. And
they said they didn't want the brain, but they did want my shirt collection.
For the Smithsonian?
No, it was just the curator. He wanted my shirt.
Oh, all right.
Chat with us at the janitor.
Oh.
I think those shirts are great. Chat with us at chat.zdnet.com.
All right.
Please.
Let's quickly just Help us out, Brian. Brian from Rosemont, Minnesota on the ZDTV 3Com Netcam Network. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Help us out, man. Change the subject.
What's up?
All right. I want to know how to associate files, like with Media Player, to play QuickTime movies.
Yeah.
It used to do it, and then I don't know what happened. But
you installed something that hijacked the association. Are you on a PC, I presume, because you're talking about Media Player?
Right.
Now, just briefly, the way every operating system kind of has a different technique for figuring out what to do when you double-click a document icon.
Sure.
On the Mac, for instance, it's built into the file itself who created it and who should open it. On the PC, it's a little bit more simple. It's built into the file name. Every file name, as you know, Brian, I don't have to tell you this, on a PC, has an extension, a dot, 3-letter, and actually now with Windows 95 and 98 it can even be more than 3 letters, extension that tells the operating system what to open when you double-click the document.
Oh, I have no MP3s on this entire
If it's a .mp3, for instance, you would double-click it, and whatever, now this is the key, whatever program is registered with Windows, you have to, it's like going to the DMV and registering. They've gone to Windows and said, I want to play MP3s. Whatever program is currently registered for that extension is the program that will launch. In this case, we double-clicked the WAV, and the Windows Media Player is associated with WAVs. So it opened up. You can see your file associations very simply, if you want to, by double-clicking My Computer and clicking on the View.
Then check out
Folder Options. It doesn't seem, that's really intuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then go to File Types, and that's what you're looking at. File Types really is a list of file associations. You can see right here.
But for WAV,
WAV extension is associated with the Media Player and Player 2. In fact, I can change that. Now, this is the hard way. You'll see, by the way, that there's different actions. The default action is the one in bold. It's open. You could make it play or record as well. And when I double-click this, you can see this is the actual command that is sent by Windows when you double-click a .wav file.
And there's the path, and there's the application that it's chosen to open it with.
So you could go into this and edit this and modify it, but I've got an easier way for you, okay?
Oh, thank heaven.
Thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
That's actually not too bad, though.
Well, and that's a way to go see what all of your extensions are.
Right.
But here's the simple way. Let's say you have a file like this one. This is an AVI file, okay? And I want to change the association. Currently, it's associated with the Windows Media Player. Click on it once, press the Shift key, right-click, and go to Open With. The Shift key changes that context menu, and now you get a file of window that every Windows user has seen.
And there you go.
It's called Open With. And it's usually the bane of Windows users. What you're going to do is find the file that you want to have from now on. Open this. In your case, you've got a .mov, that's a QuickTime movie, associated probably with the QuickTime player. Did you install QuickTime?
Right, I installed it.
Yeah, well,
that's what changed it.
That's what changed it, right. QuickTime registered itself with Windows and said, hey, MOVs, that's me, baby.
They all do that. Real media, they all do it. Real Player, they all want to take over as many media types as they can. Winamp, half of them just grab whatever media types they can. So
right, they want to be the default.
There's probably an easier way to do that specific thing by opening the media player and saying grab that type. But this is a generic way to do it for any type file, and that's what I wanted to show people so that no matter what type file you're doing, click the player the item that you want. In this case, let's say MPlayer 2 because that's your media player. And here's the key: always click on this box that says you can't really see that.
You know why I never click on that box, though?
What if you make a mistake?
Because I change my mind.
Well,
seriously. And then I just go back and do it again.
Okay.
But I don't,
But let's say you always want MOVs to be opened and played by Media Player. Then you click that box that says always use this program to open this type of file. Click OK, and from now on, you see Media Player will launch, and then we're going to see a little video of two of our viewers. We'll actually be seeing that a little later on the program.
All right.
So the key here, click once to select the icon that you want to change. This is the document, okay, a .mov.
Hold down Shift.
Hold down Shift.
Right-click, go to Open With, and then choose the association file type.
Got it?
All right, thank you.
That's simple.
It's pretty simple, Brian.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to ask you to do... Oh, you have something else?
Nope.
Nope? Okay.
I'm done.
All right.
Stick a fork in me.
Okay.
Ow.
He's done. Brian, can you do something hard now that we've asked you to do something easy?
Oh, sure.
This is really easy, right?
I hope it's easy.
Will you take us to break? Put on your big, cheesy, TV show voice for us.
All right, thanks, Kate and Leo.
Nice.
Dewey Dash shows us phones of the future when that screensaver continues.
All right. Get some more cheese in that grin. There you go. Wait. There you go.
TheScreenSavers.com is the best place for more information about what's on This Here show. How much do you know about the computer display you stare into while computing? Do you care? Find out. This week's Super Geek Challenge is all about display technology. There's more to it than you might imagine. It's all at TheScreenSavers.com.
And you know what?
What?
Our lucky winner, our smart winner who completed the quiz, Sean from Farmers Branch, Texas. Woohoo!
I'm sorry.
Winner,
I wasn't suitably celebrated.
Sean from Farmers Branch, Texas. Woohoo! Winner of yesterday's Super Geek quiz. T-shirt thing. Hold this. Thank you. You know, this nice black T-shirt thing. Just get one. Fill out the form.
After you've taken the quiz for your chance to win.
For Pete's sake, as promised, here's Sumi Das with a look at multifunctioning phones on today's Fresh Gear. Fresh Gear.
What would we do without our telephones? Easily the first word in high-tech convenience. But wait till you see the new phone gear on display at this year's Consumer Electronics Show.
Besides a phone, what's the one thing that you have to have with you at all times? A watch, right? Well, wouldn't it be nice to have one device that actually combines both? This is Samsung's answer to the Dick Tracy wristwatch phone. One big difference, though, this one actually works.
In addition to the watch phone, Samsung also promises a phone that plays MP3s, as well as another model with a miniature television receiver, just right for watching soap and talking on the phone. Maybe you're looking for something a little more stylish for the home. Bang & Olufsen took a few chances when it designed this phone with the image-conscious consumer in mind.
Besides its stylish exterior, the Biocom 6000 has something we've never seen before. Take a look at the handset. Notice this wheel right here? It allows you to access features directly from the handset.
It already costs about twice as much as other phones, and you'll have to spend a little more money for a matching answering machine that's equally attractive, as well as extra handsets.
Now, if you just don't want to carry around a handset, here's an alternative from VTech. This is a 900 megahertz wireless headset. It allows you to make calls without having to carry around a handset. Pretty handy. Now, when you do want to make calls, you can either dial from the base station or use this mobile keypad. It can either hang around your neck on a string or fits in your pocket. There are also limited controls, volume and call waiting, on the headset.
The VT is also binaural, which means nothing actually touches your ears or prevents you from hearing other people talking. It's only 900 megahertz, but VTech says you won't be disappointed in the performance.
Something unusual. CyberGenie has created what basically amounts to a PBX phone network for your home. It can accommodate up to 10 of these handsets. They communicate with this base station, which in turn connects to your PC via USB.
The CyberGenie also comes with proprietary software, which is supposed to make it easy for anyone to learn and use. Once you've done some simple setups, the rest is up to your computer.
The person you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Thank you, Sumi. You got your new Fresh Gear every Friday afternoon, 1:30, 12:30 Central, right here on ZDTV.
We got an email from Ken in Deerfield, New Hampshire. He asks, can you tell me, is it possible to close ports manually, like, for example, port 139?
Slap the tape on it.
Yeah, that's it. I don't mind hacking my registry if it could be done there. No, you don't have to hack your registry. We'll show you what ports are and how to close them. Call for help. Call for help. Screensavers. 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 Continues. Oh. Got an email. I think it came to the Screensavers, actually, from Ken in Deerfield, New Hampshire. Can you tell me if it's possible to close ports manually, like port 139? Don't mind hacking the registry if it can be done there. You don't need to hack.
To hack the registry?
What we should do, though, so you understand what we're going to talk about, is tell them what ports is.
Tell people what port is.
Explain what ports are.
Then we'll talk about what they do.
It's like when you make a phone call.
Okay.
You call a phone number, and you want to talk to an individual in an office. You do dial the extension, right? Well, if you think of your computer's internet address, its IP address is its phone number. So every computer has one distinct phone number, IP address. But a computer can have many services running on it. It can have an FTP server, a web server. It could have a Gopher server. It could be running a game like Doom or Quake. Any of those things are like extensions on the computer. Each of those devices, any of those services that will be accessed from the outside world, opens what's called a port. Now, what's confusing about this is it's the same word we use for serial port and printer port. There's no physical port. A port is an imaginary construct. It's like an extension.
Connection.
It is.
As it were.
So when I surf to a website, the process is merely going to an IP address, the phone number, and saying, connect me to port 80. The extension.
Right.
That's the HTTP port, the port where web traffic, the web server talks.
Now here is the major rub. Port 80 is not open until you open it.
Aha!
That is the key. It's
and
not
how do you open it?
How do you open it? Open the program that uses port 80. That's it. You don't have a bunch of open ports lying around exposed all the time. It's like you don't have open extensions all the time just waiting for somebody to jump on.
A port only exists once the program creates it. So I won't have a port 80 until I'm running a web server, an Apache server.
Okay.
The minute I run the web server, suddenly there is an extension at that port 80.
So no port 20 unless you're running FTP.
So first of all, you're going to have to find out what the port number that's open is. Now, he says 139. This is where the port numbers come from. It used to be, now it's called ICANN. It used to be called IANA, the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. And they registered all of these numbers. These are what they call canonical list of assigned
There's
port
FTP
numbers.
number 20.
FTP is 20 and 21. Actually, 21 is the incoming FTP. If you go down, you'll see 80 is HTTP.
All the way down?
There's actually the first 1,024 are kind of official. Everything above 1,024 can be registered, but is unofficial.
Wow.
And it goes all the way up to 65,000. It's a 16-bit number.
There's somebody down here with like a 47,000.
There's a 47,000. Usually doesn't go that high. For instance, Shoutcast is port 8,000. It's not an official port. It's although they can register it with ICANN, and it's probably a good idea to do so because then you don't have conflicts.
Well, then let's take a look at registered ports and how to find out.
Now, here's how you find out. We got this. This is a really cool website that allows you to enter in a port number. Go ahead and put in 139.
We'll put in 139.
Anytime you see you have an open port in your system, you can go to this site. We've got a link on our website to it. It's a UK site, and enter in, and it'll tell you what port. See, it's a NetBIOS session.
Isn't that great?
So now we know why that port's open, don't we?
Yes, because we're sharing.
NetBIOS is how you do file sharing.
That's right. Now we're playing around with this.
This is a fun one. 666.
666 port. Oh. Was reserved by Doom, by id.
So when you play networked Doom, the connection is made over port 666.
There you go.
And that figures considering the game.
Now you had another.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is not going to show up. Go ahead and enter it in. This is the NetBus, the common port that NetBus, which is a Trojan horse server, uses. It'll say, I don't know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is. It's actually taking a long time because it can't find it. And so if you had not found, that's because, of course, the creators of NetBus didn't bother to register it.
Oh, darn.
Now, let's show you real quickly how to close that port 139. All you have to do is open your network control panel and click on the File and Print Sharing button and turn off File and Print Sharing. If you're on a network, you should have that turned off unless you have a compelling reason to have it on anyway. So turn off File and Print Sharing. Suddenly, port 139 will no longer be open. And that's because the service has been turned off.
Ta-da.
No extension.
So there you go.
It's like turning off phone service.
It's just not open.
Hope you got that. There's some fun sites in there for port numbers if you want to bookmark those. I recommend you visit thescreensavers.com.
All right. Let's talk to Joseph now, who's joining us on the phone from Alvaton, Georgia.
Hello,
Hi, Joseph.
Hi.
You like Joseph? You like Joe? Joey?
Yes, I like everything but Joey, actually.
Anything but Joey?
Yes.
Okay. Jojo.
I won't call you Joey if you don't call me Loey.
Okay.
But you can call her Cake.
Okay.
What can we do for you, Joe?
Cake recently did a Windows tip, the hardware info.
Yes, we did. Yeah, let's quickly show this to the people.
This is a great Windows tip.
Gives you an information. Go to Start Run. It shows you everything you've got on your machine. Hardware info. HWINFO /UI. User interface. That means I can now actually look at it. It'll pop up a window and show you all the hardware.
Right now.
on your machine, where the problems are, how everything's working, a huge
You like that, Joe?
list. So what's your extension of the tip, Joe?
Well, I can do it in a Mac.
You can. Show us how.
Show us how.
Go to your Apple menu.
All right, I'm following along here on our G3. Apple menu.
Apple System Profiler.
Now, does this have to be System 8 or System 9? I think it does.
I've got 8.
Yeah, I think it's in System 8. It starts in System 8. Look at this.
Oh, do you have it up?
I have it up right now.
Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm in there now, too.
Everything. Devices and volumes, control panels, extensions.
Hey, you only had to click 2 places there and not type anything. That was easier on a Mac. Hey, Hell Surprise.
Well, actually, there's more.
There's more.
There's more?
Go ahead.
Get more in-depth information.
How do we get that?
Go to File, and then Open Report or Command O.
Okay, got that.
And I've already got mine saved. I make a new one about every day.
Oh, so I should. Oh, I'm sorry. So what I want to do is save a report first and then open it?
Well, there above Open Report, there's Create Report.
Oh.
Create new report, and it gives you lots of information that you can include and options to include it, like control panels, extensions, system folders, applications, devices, volumes, and network communications.
Oh, there's Create.
Why do you do one every day?
Well, I enjoy experimenting with my computer.
Okay, so you want to play around and make sure you have a backup.
You know why these programs, you'll find these on most computers, and we know why they have these programs, is primarily for tech support. This one, for instance, the Windows one, is completely hidden, and that's because what will happen is if you call Microsoft and you say, oh, I'm having a problem, they'll say, okay, do this, that's this, which is run HW info,
right.
And they'll say, now read me line 32, because that's how they can get an idea of what's in your machine. Apple smartly puts it very available for the users by just putting it in the Apple menu.
Thank you, Apple.
And it really is a good way of not only finding out what's in there, and of course everybody should know what's in their machine if it breaks, ahead of time if it breaks, but also for tech support purposes, they can call you up and say, or when you call them up, they can say, well, run this program and tell me what your machine FPU is or whatever, and then you'll know. Hey, great. We love it, Joseph, when people call in with tips for us. We should give him something.
Do you want a T-shirt or a cap, Joseph? T-shirt.
All right.
T-shirt. We're going to send you. That's 2 T-shirts today.
Oh,
but see,
man.
he earned that one by sending in a tip.
Man, the budget.
You see what?
We're blowing out the budget, Kate.
We can spare 2 T-shirts. We'll just go without.
Man.
It's okay.
I'm going to have to sell my belt.
Oh, man. Please don't make him sell his belt. Don't ask us for any more.
It'll be the end of the show.
Folks, making a V-mail could be a family affair because it's a family show, as you can see. Bring your loved ones together for a common goal. Why not gather the little ones and record a video email and send it to us? Instructions, scripts, and your blankie at thescreensavers.com. Just click on Interact. Son, I told you not to do it. Now here's Trippin' Son from Durango, Colorado, joining the Screensavers family. Actually, go for it, guys. They're very cute and...
Hi, this is Trip Solomon
And Tanner Solomon
from Durango, Colorado. Kate and Leo will be right back when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to Screensavers. Take a peek up there on your screen. So far, half of you would back up your brain. 23% of you already have.
Ooh, that's scary.
Run out, get yourself an LS120. Take care of it. Screensavers.com.
It only takes one floppy for me. Very, very simple process.
Here's some email.
Captain Winky.
Captain Winky?
I hope that's not his real name, right? I'd like to know on a basic system, what's a good temperature? I noticed after installing my new modem, it's raising, it went up to in excess from 80 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not a bad temperature. It sounds like this is his case temperature. Your CPU temperature shouldn't go up if you install a new modem.
Of course
but
not.
your case temperature might see
because there's something else running in there, sure.
The old rule of thumb was if you could touch it and not go, ow, that's fine. And I would say that means on a processor something less than around 115 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right.
So a case temperature of 100 degrees is not bad. I wouldn't worry about it.
Just make sure you've got good ventilation.
Exactly. That's right.
All right. Adam in Hollis, ANC, says he's building a new rig. He wants to know the difference between ECC and non-ECC RAM. ECC is error correcting and checking RAM, and it's really meant for, you don't need it. It's not meant for consumers. It's meant for super, super high-end machines, and it's completely pointless.
If you can get it for free, do.
If you get it for free, do.
Don't
pay extra money for it.
Hey, that's it for this edition of the Screensavers.
Really?
Right? Is that the name of the show?
Yeah, Screensavers.
I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Kate Patella. We'll see you next time on Call for Help.
Oh!
Thanks for...
Screensavers!
Screensavers! Screensavers!